I love the dog more than anything. If that wasn't true, I wouldn't be here. Sorry. I take care of him. I take him places. I take him to the store, take him to get his nails cut.
All right, you're gonna have to pull it together because you filed a lawsuit and I have to hear the lawsuit.
I'm sorry.
All right.
It just hurts a lot.
This is the plaintiff, Sarah Mako. She says her cousin, the defendant, stole a dog belonging to her and he won't give it back. This is the most horrible thing to happen to her because she loves Noodle. Will fight with every ounce of her being to get him back and is suing for the $1,000 he owes her. This is the defendant, Christopher Colgan. He says their aunt owned Noodle for about 6 years, and when she and his grandmother could no longer care for him, they gave the dog to him. The plaintiff feels Noodle was promised to her, but she doesn't have the room for him since she lives in a room with her boyfriend, her baby, 2 cats, a guinea pig, an iguana, and a tarantula, for God's sakes. Bottom line, Noodle is well cared for. He's happy, and he's his dog. He's accused of nabbing a dog named Noodle.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to drop their claims and have their cases settled here before Judge Marilyn Millian in our forum, the People's Court.
You see to come to order, please. Litigants have been sworn, Your Honor.
Thank you, Douglas.
Welcome in.
Sarah Mako,
Yes.
You are suing Christopher Colgan, your cousin, for $1,000, the value of a dog, but what you really want is the dog returned to you because
Absolutely.
according to you, it's your dog. What happened?
Well, the dog has been in my family for going on actually 7 years now because his birthday was October 4th. And he's
That's
lived...
really creepy. That's my dog's birthday.
Oh, yeah, October 4th, 2010, so he's 7 now. He's lived at my aunt and my grandmother's
When you say in my
house.
family, what does that mean?
He's lived at my aunt and my
Whose dog
grandmother's
is it?
house. It was my aunt's dog, originally.
Okay. Is the aunt here?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so go ahead.
Okay, so the aunt, sorry, the dog was my aunt's and originally and lived at my grandmother's house with her because she lives with my grandmother.
Okay.
I love the dog more than anything. If that wasn't true, I wouldn't be here. Sorry. I take care of him. I take him places. I take him to the store, take him to get his nails cut.
All right, you're going to have to pull it together because you filed a lawsuit and I have to hear the lawsuit.
I'm sorry.
All right.
It just hurts a lot. Back when my son was born, around that time, I knew I had to move out of my other grandmother's house where I live and into a house, and that's when it was promised to me verbally that Noodle would come with me.
What is it was promised to
I'm
me
sorry,
verbally?
Noodle.
Who promised you that?
My aunt.
Your aunt.
Yes.
Said, you can have Noodle.
Yes, you can
Back
take him
when,
with you.
What day did your aunt tell you that?
I don't have an exact day. She's,
Okay,
I mean, she's
how-
been saying it.
She's been saying it.
Yes.
So for how long have you been saying you were going to take Noodle?
As long as my son's been alive, for sure, which is almost a year old.
Okay.
But-
So how come you hadn't taken Noodle?
Well, because I assumed my grandmother, and because it's her house, she told me it was okay for him to stay there until I had somewhere for him to go because he wasn't allowed to come to my other grandmother's house. So
Okay.
we bought a trailer that's in the process of being renovated.
Okay.
So my aunt was entirely on my side about it. She knew how much I love him and how much he means to me.
Okay.
And she even came and she wrote a letter saying that she gives him
Wait,
to me.
let's do this chronologically. So what happens is it takes longer than anticipated for you to
Right.
take the dog.
Right.
And during that time, I imagine grandmother's saying things like, you got to take this dog, or aunt is saying things like, you got to take it. What was wrong with their situation and the dog?
Well, my grandmother let my other cousin get a big golden retriever who was just a little rough with Noodle because Noodle's really a tiny dog. And
What kind of dog is Noodle?
An Italian Greyhound. She's like
Okay.
a Greyhound but small.
Right.
And he was just being put down in my aunt's room a lot by himself. So that's why I would take him out and I'd bring him places with me to make sure he got out.
How
because,
often did you go and visit Noodle?
every other day at least. Like I was always at my grandma's house because she's my grandma. And I bring my
Right,
son
I know.
there.
You got a baby. Do you have a job?
Yes. Absolutely.
Right, you have a job, you have a baby, you
Yes.
have, who's that guy?
Oh, this is my boyfriend.
Okay, you have other pets.
Yes, I
Yeah.
do. I have.
All right, so what happens, when do they get into the picture? Or he
around
get-
May.
Okay,
Around
and what
May,
happens
if I'm
in
not mistaken.
May?
I don't know. I guess he brought his new girlfriend over to introduce her, I'm sorry, to my grandmother. And I guess she liked Noodle and saw Noodle, and my grandmother just told her to take him. And I was just, broke my heart.
Okay, but so you don't feel your grandmother has a right to give away the dog that's in her house?
It's not in her name, not her dog, didn't belong to her.
Whose name was it in?
Most of it's in my aunt's name.
What's most
Originally-
of it? What is
Most
it?
of like just all his vet stuff is in my aunt's name from when he was younger and everything. He was actually never registered to anybody that I know of. So the only one.
But then he got registered, right?
Yes.
Like after this is your cousin.
Right.
And the dog ended up getting registered not to you, but to your girlfriend.
Yes, Your Honor.
Is your girlfriend here?
Yes, she is, Your Honor.
Okay, come on up, step up. All right, so you go to the house and you're going there to introduce Grandma to her, and what happens?
And I meet Noodle, and he's an adorable little Italian greyhound. He comes up on me, instant bond, fell in love with him. And she was saying that, nobody takes care of him. He's by himself. He's locked in a room half the time. He looked sick, unhealthy, and he was shy. Every time you saw him, he'd shake and shake and shake. So they were saying, we want to get rid of him. And I said, I'll take him. So within that week's time, I asked him if they were really serious, really want to get rid of him. Do they really want him to have a new home? And they said yes. So I brought him to my house with my family, and we gave him a good home.
Did you ever speak to Aunt about that?
Yes, Your Honor, we did.
They were actually both there together when I asked them if they really wanted to get rid of him, and she agreed for me to have the.
Did anybody say, hey, we've been telling Sarah it's going to be her dog? Do you have a picture of Noodle? Anybody got a picture of Noodle?
Oh, I got dozens.
Okay.
Yes,
Did,
Yeah.
Several.
did
is
anybody
all-
say, I mean, I imagine they said,
My aunt did, but she said in the end it's her dog and it's her decision to give the
well,
dog
what did
to
she
whoever
say
she
about it, though? Because that's your cousin.
They said that Sarah had been saying she'll take him.
So did you call Sarah to see
No,
what
I didn't, because it wasn't Sarah's dog, it was my aunt's
Nah, I
dog.
know, but just as a human being,
I didn't
did it
even-
occur to you to say,
No, Your Honor.
wait, you've told Sarah she can have him, but Sarah hasn't taken it? Hey, Sarah, listen, are you going to take the dog or aren't you? Because we have an opportunity to get the dog a good home with my new girlfriend, and if you can't take the dog, then why don't you just, like, that didn't happen?
No, Your Honor.
You're not very close, are you?
No, we're not, Your Honor.
Or do you actually dislike each other before this?
No, not at all. We just
You're just not that nice?
didn't even
I mean,
think
because that
about it.
didn't occur to you that would be nice?
No, Your Honor. My grandmother and my aunt said that we can take it. They wanted to have a good home, and that was it.
May 19th. It was a Friday.
Is
and
that,
was the
is
day,
May 19th the day you first met the dog? or
That
the
is the day I took him home.
Okay. Oh, this is from before when I asked her for a picture. Yeah. Is the dog smiling?
Yeah, actually.
Does the dog have dentures? What is that?
First dog I ever saw smile.
All right. In any event, go ahead, go on.
Well, I contacted my aunt because we're very close, and just kind of upsetting to see her on the other side right now. But I contacted her. I said, I can't believe that Nan let them take him. I said, this isn't fair. You know how much he means to me. And I said, will you meet with me and give me all the information you have on him? So she gave me everything that she had and involuntarily handed over to me. This is his rabies certificate for this year. I have all his vet records. I have a certificate
And
of
what?
pedigree.
Right, and what?
And she came with me to a notary to sign that she gave him, that he's my dog, and that, that she had given him to me.
But that's after the dog was already given to her. All right, let me
Yes,
see
because
that-
what I
let me see
wanted
that.
to do was, I didn't want to involve her, because I know
You
that
didn't want to involve who?
my aunt, because my grandmother's very spiteful, and I didn't want my grandmother to kick her out.
I thought you visited your grandmother every other day
No,
because you're so close.
absolutely. That's why I'm confused as to why my grandmother would do this to me. But she's very, I didn't want her to backlash on my aunt and my cousins and kick them out. So I kind of wanted to separate her from it and say, and she knows the dog was my dog. So I said, will you just help me so I can do this so you don't have to do this because I don't want Dan to get mad at you. Yeah.
Can I have you two switch with Aunt and Grandma for a
Yes,
moment,
ma'am.
please?
Yes, Your Honor.
I want everybody to be patient. I'm going to be patient.
And can you just talk a little bit louder?
I will. I can not only be patient, I can be super loud. So I will speak louder. Okay. Who have I got here? Because I don't want to call you Nan. What's your name?
Kathy, but you can call me Nanny if you'd like.
I will call you Nanny. All right. Now, what's your last name? I'm sorry.
Kecky.
And your name?
Jennifer?
Jennifer, I want to ask you a few questions. How long had you in fact told the plaintiff Sarah, that she could have the dog?
Probably about a year.
Okay. And were you expecting her to go ahead and take the dog?
Not like right away, but I figured like she would have a place eventually like to take him. But like what happens is we would have to lock him. We had another dog in the house that Noodle didn't get along with, so we would have to lock Noodle away for like a couple of hours to let the other dog out because he would fight with her. So I didn't want to wait any longer for him to like be somewhere where he could run around and be out of.
So did you ever give her a deadline?
No, we never gave her a deadline.
Okay, so on the day that he comes in with his girlfriend, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, and what happens?
To be honest, I don't really remember. I just know that she really liked the dog, and we were tired of like always putting him away. So we figured she could give him a good home.
So you made the decision to give her
I was
the
going
dog.
to be able to take him.
Okay, because it didn't look like she was going to
Yeah, and
actually...
at that point, I didn't even think of like giving her a call, like, because I just wanted like what's best for Noodle at that time instead of having him always locked up in a room.
Okay. Nan. Kathy. Ma'am. Did...
Call me Nanny. That's easier.
How come nobody called Sarah? I'm just curious.
Sarah had been coming in and out of my house anytime, okay, with her baby. I wanted to get rid of Noodle, not because I didn't like him. I wanted to get rid of Noodle because I thought Noodle needed a new place to live, a better home where he would get the attention and the caring. But she had no place to live except her grandmother's. And I didn't want Noodle locked up again in a room.
I would like to speak to him. Come on up. Can you switch with Aunt? You can come back up. I see a text that she sends to you. I don't want to fight with you, but Noodle is my... Do you have the text in the phone?
Yeah, I have my phone.
I like to actually see it because this is... People sometimes photocopy it in the wrong order, and I just want to
Got
see
you.
it correctly.
I have.
Wait, I want to talk to Aunt a second. Come back up. So what happened that a few days later, you end up giving her a document that says, I give permanent ownership of Noodle, the Italian Greyhound, to my niece, Sarah Mako?
I don't know, because I guess she was making me feel bad, but like we said, we didn't want him locked up anymore.
Right. What are you trying to show me?
I have a letter written from my aunt that's dated
Which
a
aunt?
week before, from my Aunt Jenny,
Well, she's standing right there. I can ask
Saying-
her whatever I want. Go ahead. Saying from the week before what?
that she gives us the dog. and
Except for
it's-
when was that
Yeah,
letter
this
written?
was dated on May 19th.
Is that the day you wrote it, honey?
Yes.
Really? All right, let me ask you. Is that the day she wrote
It
it?
was the day we wrote it, and then we had it notarized, then we had it signed.
I'm sorry, you had it written, notarized, signed,
Yes.
and written on May 19th.
Yes,
I don't believe you.
we did, Your Honor.
No,
We
you-
rewrote it because it was very sloppy looking, but it was written the same day.
Well, let me see the one that was sloppy looking.
We don't have that copy, Your Honor.
Okay, so when was that document written?
Welcome back to the People's Court. Harvey Levin here. So, is it possible, if there's an honest disagreement, that one person can sue a family member and then afterwards still maintain a relationship? What do you say?
No.
Really? Even if it's an honest disagreement, but you can't. Why?
Oh, can I change my answer?
Wow, you're easy.
Okay. Yes, but then eventually there's forgiveness in the end.
Fair enough. Wow, that was easy.
No, I don't think so. I think there's hard feelings. If you lose the suit, that there'll be hard feelings, even if it's a family member.
But courts are designed to resolve disputes, and if there's a real dispute and a real disagreement, why can't you get past it if you sue?
I just feel like family disagreements and disputes should stay exactly that, family disputes and disagreements, and it's a misuse of the legal system to take it to court.
Okay, fair enough. You have awesome eyebrows.
Oh, thank you.
They're amazing going inside the courtroom.
This one was written probably a week after,
Okay, so what day was that written? Can you answer the question now?
23rd, Your Honor.
Oh, you
24th, Your
folded
Honor.
like a cheap suit. It's the day after this.
No, I'm
Boy,
saying-
it didn't take long, did it? Why are you lying?
I'm not lying, Your Honor.
You
had
are
one
lying.
written-
I said, when was that written? And your answer was the 19th when you know it wasn't. It doesn't predate this. It came after that. And listen, Aunt's going to have to sit down, drop your documents. You're out of this. I need girlfriend back up, and then I want to talk to you.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I need your phone.
I can't get it to load on Facebook.
Oh,
but
for the love of God.
I'm
Hey,
sorry.
I don't want to fight with you, but Noodle
don't
is
have
my
data.
dog. Nan never owned him. I am absolutely heartbroken she would do this to me. I've been crying for 2 days straight. I really would like him returned to me. I love that dog more than life, and I'm willing to do whatever I have to do legally. But we're family. I don't want it to be that way. And what's your response? Ha, 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 ha. That's your response?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm not sure.
TOPH, What does that mean?
They call me Toph. They don't call me Chris.
I'm Toph. I get what I want. Good luck. So she answers, okay, if that's how you want to be. And then at some point you write, ha, 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 ha. You can try, Sarah, but you won't win. You make maybe what, 30,000 combined with your boyfriend? I make 120,000 a year. Try fighting me in court, see how fast your bill runs up. Ha, 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 ha. I'm a U.S. Marine in great standing with my community who is going to be a police officer soon, who currently makes $120,000 a year. Noodle is in a great house with a huge yard, getting lots of love and attention. So again, good luck. What kind of Marine are you? Because that's really one of the nastiest, most immature things I've ever seen in my life. How long have you been dating this guy?
I didn't know he was that mean.
I mean, who writes this to somebody who's obviously heartbroken?
It was immature, Your Honor, I was upset too, and I didn't want to deal with it.
Upset too? No, what you're doing is ridiculing her, telling her that because she's poor, she can't have a dog.
It was very
which
low.
Which is pretty ridiculous. It's pretty low.
It was very immature.
You know, it's embarrassing for a Marine, and to me, that is a serious character flaw to put a badge and a gun in your hands.
You're absolutely correct,
if you're
Your Honor.
this big a bully.
It was very low, it was very immature, and it's very mean to me. You're right, Your Honor. And I do regret saying those things. I do.
Oh, do you?
Yes,
I think
Your
you
Honor,
regret that I read it out loud
No, I
on
do
national
regret
television.
it.
I think that's what you regret.
When I talked to my grandmother about it, I told her that I did regret saying those things.
I read that out loud because I wasn't about to let him skate on what he's put you through, because I think that's horrible. I think if he had taken the high road and just said, look, it's their dog to give away, the dog's in a good place, I'm sorry you feel that way, do what you got to do. Like a man,
You're correct,
I
Your
wouldn't
Honor.
have read all this out loud. But this was really crappy. Be that as it may, my call has to be a legal call. And here's what it is. I've got them saying you can take the dog. I've got you not taking the dog. I agree it would have been more humane to you and a better treatment of you if they had said, well, hold on, let me see if she's going to take. But they didn't. And part of why they didn't is not just because they thought you didn't want the dog anymore. That's not it. It's because, in the end, they kind of didn't really want you to end up having the dog anyway. And so the question, because they think it's too much for you.
Yeah, but
I understand.
My life is fine. There's
No, I'm sure it is. I didn't mean that you're. First of all, I don't give the property to the person who has more money. Okay, that's ludicrous. Okay, I've had these situations, and the dog is gone with a homeless guy who owned the dog. All right, a dog is property as much as we love our dogs. All right. What I've got to figure out is, can you really call yourself the owner? Because for a year they've been telling you you can be the owner. And I can't.
And I agree and understand why you say that.
You know, it's not like you did anything during that year other than pet and love the dog.
But
you know,
I don't have the receipts, but I took him to get his nails cut. Out of pocket, I paid for it myself.
Everything that there is in the aunt's name, and the aunt has a right to give the dog away, even if she feels bad afterwards. All that stuff is after the giveaway, and the only question is, was the giveaway a proper giveaway, or was that dog your dog at the time? Let's see. Every document is in the aunt's name that has to do with vets. The dog is living with the aunt and grandma. And, you know, so how is it I can say that wasn't a good giveaway? Plus, we're now in a new situation, too, you know? That dog has been there and happy for all of this time. So at least you know, and, you know, she's fighting you on time because this is her family's dog now. At least you know that the dog is being well taken care of. And I know that you're suffering, and I'm sorry about that. But they had a legal right at that time to give that dog away to her. And therefore, in this case, I'm finding in favor of that defendant. Verdict for the defendant.
Well, in a very sad case, here, Ms. Mako, maybe you can use some tissues. You know, I think everybody watching this certainly sympathizes with you. You know, it's any dog lover. This is heartbreaking to go through. I certainly understand.
I don't want to be anywhere near those people. They're my family. They're not my family.
What's this going to do to the relationship with your aunt and your grandmother?
It's unfortunate, but there is no relationship anymore.
That's all. That's it.
Yeah. Somebody who could do that to me doesn't belong in my life. Doesn't belong in my son's life.
Yeah, family's supposed to be consistent.
It's unfortunate.
I know. I am so sorry.
It's unfortunate, but it's.
I'm sorry, but you got to sign a few documents outside. You're very, very welcome. Now here comes Mr. Colgan, you came off like a slime ball, if I put it mildly. You know, you
I
should
take
be
it.
so embarrassed. I'm talking to him. I'm saying he should be so embarrassed. You know, let me ask you.
I have a great-grandchild by her. She won't let me see him anymore since this all happened. She doesn't need the dog. They don't even live in the trailer that they were given.
Watch
Go
your
sit
language,
down, calm
man.
down,
Let me ask you a
That's
question.
why I got it.
Don't
Go
ask me.
Go
See,
sit down.
how long have you had the dog?
I've had the dog for 7 months.
So he really has had a chance to get into the family.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you won the case, so
And like I was saying before,
congratulations.
there's a lot of emotions involved in it, and it got a little heated. And
I know. But you
That's
better watch
why-
it. I mean, that
that's
was
why I
so
got-
bad
that's
for
why I
you.
got
That was
emotional.
terrible.
That was why I got
That's
emotional.
not like a Marine, you know that.
I know,
Okay.
I agree.
All right. Thank you very much. Wow. What a sad case. Harvey?
Okay, Doug, I mean, look, once a dog is given away, it doesn't matter whether the person who gave it away has remorse. It is simply done. And that will do it for this case. Litigants for the next case on the way into the courtroom right now.
This is the plaintiff, Denise Washington. She says the defendant hired her to make 10 dresses for her wedding party, her wedding dress, and the bridezilla still owes her money for all the work she did. She's sorry the defendant's wedding was canceled on her wedding day because her fiancé was still actually married to someone else, but that's not her problem. She's suing for $1,010, the amount she's owed. This is the defendant, Mia Goldsboro. She says she didn't pay the plaintiff the balance of her bill because she didn't deliver the dresses on time. That's right. She showed up so late they missed out on using their limo rental. The photographer couldn't get the photos of her bridal party, and the plaintiff's wholly responsible for this loss. It's a mistake for the plaintiff to sue today because if anyone's owed money, it certainly isn't her. She's accused of stiffing a seamstress. The defendant has filed a countersuit for $3,500 for loss of limo and photographer services.
All parties, please raise your right hand.
Welcome back to the People's Court. Next case on the docket. The plaintiff made dresses for the defendant's wedding. The defendant says the dresses arrived so late that she missed her entire wedding. But the plaintiff is saying the defendant missed the wedding because her fiancé was still married. It's the case of saying no to the dress.
Thank you, Douglas.
welcome,
Denise
ma'am.
Washington.
Yes.
You are
Hello,
suing
Judge.
your client, Mia Goldsboro,
Yes. Yes.
for $1,010. The balance of the bridal dresses
Yes.
plus gas and tolls. Okay. Did you have some kind of contract that entitled you to gas and tolls?
No, I didn't have a contract.
But you're mad, so you want that too? Okay. What
No.
happened?
No, well, Yana, I met Ms. Goldsberg through one of my other customers, and she was a pretty good customer. She's a good friend of mine of the family, and I trusted her that Ms. Goldberg would be, you know, a good person and responsible. So I didn't really give her a contract because that's what I do. She's
No, that's
like,
silly. That's, you know.
I know, Your Honor.
I know. In fact,
know.
if my brother and I were going to do business, we have a contract.
I know.
Because that's the last guy I want to lose, you
That's
know,
my
with
fault,
misunderstandings.
But
you know?
yeah.
So in any event, you have an agreement, and I don't think that there's dispute about what the total amount was or anything else. You agreed that there's $895 balance. You don't want to pay it because you feel she breached the contract.
It's a $750 balance.
Okay. So how much do you say you paid?
Here's the receipts.
Okay. And those receipts, and how much was the total contract for?
The total contract for my dress, my 2 dresses, my mom's dress.
Because
my
you had
2 daughters.
the wedding dress plus a reception dress?
Yes, I had
Uh-huh.
a wedding dress, a reception dress, my mom's dress, my 2 daughters' dresses, my stepdaughter's dress, my granddaughter's dress.
So my understanding from looking at the receipts is that the dresses you were responsible for, Ms. Goldsboro, are the wedding dress, the junior bridesmaids dresses, which were your daughter, and your mom's dress that you were going to pay for. Correct, everybody?
Yes. Yes.
So even though we don't have a contract, do we all agree that that's $950 plus $200 plus $200, so that's $1,350 that you were
Yes.
responsible for?
That's right.
All right. And as for what you had already paid by the time the wedding came, okay, you had already paid for how much, do you say?
$600.
Does that sound right?
Yes.
Okay. If the total is $1,350 and you've paid $600, that would leave a balance of $750.
Exactly.
Okay. Here we are. Now, what went wrong? Because you feel you should not have to pay the $750. In fact, you have now filed a counterclaim against her for $3,500 because according to you, the wedding dresses were a disaster. They came late to the wedding day, on the wedding day, and you shouldn't have to pay for that. Talk to me.
Yes.
Things ripped and...
Okay, so what happened was the wedding day, she was supposed to bring the dresses to us. My
On the wedding day?
Yes.
Why on the wedding day?
Because, well, the dress is supposed to come the day before. But being that we had the dinner rehearsal went over time, it was late. We agreed to her bringing the dresses the wedding day.
Y'all run your railroad differently than I do, because I've got to tell you, I would. And then she gets into a car accident. Nobody has a dress. Who knows what could go wrong cutting it that close?
No, the week of, they did try on. She came over to my cousin Tasha's house like 3 days before the wedding. And everybody tried on, but there was still stuff that she had to take in on the dresses.
I know, that's really cutting it close, everybody.
So she said that she was gonna have them done and have it fixed for us. So we took it
So it
that she was
doesn't
gonna do
happen
it.
on the night of the rehearsal dinner.
Exactly.
So on the day of the wedding, what time was she supposed to have your dresses?
The day of the wedding, the dresses.
What time was the wedding scheduled for?
3:30.
Okay.
And she did not arrive until 5:30, almost 6 o'clock.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Wait, the wedding was scheduled for 3:30?
3:30.
Not she was supposed to be there at 3:30?
No.
What time was she supposed to be there?
She was supposed to have, they called her around 1 o'clock and asked her where was she at.
You're not following me. What was your plan? Miss Everything will be all right. What was your plan about when she was supposed to be there? We called her at 1 and said, where are you? What was your plan?
My plans was she should have been there at 12 o'clock.
Wait, did you tell her what time you wanted her there?
Well, no, we didn't tell her what time we wanted her there.
Hakuna Matata, everybody.
Okay.
Everything's going to be...
Well,
How is it you would not...
She was mostly speaking to my cousin. And
is this your cousin?
Yes. She
Come
was
on
speaking
up.
to my cousin.
Did anybody suggest what time the dresses should be there?
We talked to her Thursday night, like we were sitting eating, so Mia called her. And we all was like, what happened? I thought you were supposed to be here. We were supposed to get the dresses tonight. She said that Mia never gave her the address. So I said, but if Mia don't talk, if you can't get in touch with Mia, you normally call me. I didn't get no calls from you. So she was like, oh, what time are we meeting up at Mia's house the next day? So we said the makeup artist had to be there at 11 o'clock. She said she would be there at 11 o'clock.
Okay, so you had a plan with her to be there at 11 o'clock.
Yes.
And the wedding is at 3-something.
3:30.
So at 11:30, when she's not there, does someone call her and find out what's going on?
At 12 o'clock, Darlene called her, which is the maid of honor. She was like, and? Darlene was like, and then Darlene hung up with her, and Darlene wanted me to call her back. But I was like, if she told you that, she's going to tell me the same thing. So
wait, why didn't you call her?
I didn't want to get into it with her.
Why not? That's kind of your job. You're her friend. She doesn't need all this stress. By the way, there was a big stressor that day already,
Yes,
right?
it was.
What was
Exactly.
the stressor?
The stressor was we was running around.
No, I meant about your husband.
Trying to get the marriage license, and we wound up not getting our marriage license.
Because
he's still married to his previous wife.
Okay, but was that a matter of that his divorce decree had? Or this was a surprise for you that he was still married?
No, it's not a surprise to me.
Right, you thought that the divorce would be entered by then?
Yeah. Okay, so
that happens, and I'm sorry that happened. I'm glad that it wasn't I was worried that it would be the opposite, that you just found out the guy was... That's not... Okay, so you're happy anyway, and you want to celebrate anyway. And you've got everybody together and a beautiful reception to have. So you go ahead and have the reception.
Exactly.
Has the divorce become final, and have you actually married him?
Well, no, not yet. The divorce ain't final yet, but it's hard way because
you undershot this like crazy.
Because the ex is giving him a hard way to go.
Exactly. Because there's a factor that we can't control, the ex and the judge. Why weren't you there? They say that you were supposed to be there. You're not there at 3 when the wedding begins, and you get there at 5:45?
No, Your Honor, I did not get there at 5:45.
What time did you get there?
I left my house at 3 o'clock.
Why would you leave your house at 3 o'clock if the wedding is at 3:30?
Because I was still pressing dresses, and because...
Why are you doing that? Your job is to have this stuff ready on time.
Because I was working on all of her stuff.
Yeah, so you were late.
Week.
You shouldn't be pressing while the wedding was supposed to be happening. Now, you say you got there at what time?
I got there at 4 o'clock, maybe like 10 after 4.
And according to you guys, it's what time?
It was 5:05, 5:45. It was after 5 o'clock.
Okay,
She
either
came
way,
with
it's after
that.
the wedding's
Yes.
supposed to begin. So what happened?
She came with the dress.
Like your
So-
wedding guests, how many guests did you have?
160 people.
And what are they doing all that time? Because my
Just
wedding guests
sitting
would
there
leave.
in the church.
Oh, in the church.
Just sitting there. I was like, we still waiting for the dresses.
All right, so the dresses come and the
when
wedding begins at what time?
When the dresses came, everybody started scrambling around getting dressed. So my daughter, one of my youngest daughters, she put her dress on. The whole dress bust in the back, bust wide open. Nothing could be done. We didn't have no alternative dresses put on her. So what Miss Denise did was ripped off this tulle that was on the front part of the dress, put it on the back part of the dress, and pinned it with big safety pins. At this point, I'm livid and I'm not saying anything because I'm already angry and
I have
upset.
a question. When did you find out that his divorce wasn't final? The day before or at that?
That day.
That day.
That day.
So is the ceremony in the church still happening?
No, we didn't have the ceremony because
Okay.
I decided to go to the church because I didn't want my bishop to tell my guests anything. I wanted to be the one to talk to
So
my
when
guests.
you go, do you go in the white dress?
No, I didn't
You
go.
didn't wear the white dress?
I wore one of the white dresses. I wore my reception dress. I
Okay,
didn't-
so you wear your reception dress, you go to the church, and you stand in front. I gotta hear this. You stand in front of. God bless you. So you stand in front of the church and you explain what happened.
No, we didn't explain everything what happened. We just, told my fiance talked first and just told them that, due to circumstances that, we not gonna have the ceremony today. But
Did he explain why?
He didn't explain why. He just
Well, you
said
should, though.
He didn't explain why.
It sounds like he's dumping you.
But my family knew because I told my family.
Okay.
So once he explained whatever, but he was like, I want y'all to still go over to the Villa Barone and enjoy yourselves and have a good time. We paid for that.
Okay. Did you have a good time at the
But-
reception at least?
I had a wonderful time at
Oh,
my
good.
reception.
Okay. All right. So tell me about what else goes wrong and why you don't want to pay her the balance.
So not only that, my daughter's dress breaks. My other bridesmaids, she was supposed to have straps in the back of her dress. That, I don't know how it was supposed to have been fastened, but she wanted with big safety pins on hers. Not only that happened, my maid of honor's dress, if you look at the pictures that I sent, one of her boob is pressed in. Like the dress was a true malfunction. My stepdaughter's dress, her dress, if you look at the pictures, her dress was crooked. But when I was on a party bus, as soon as I sat up, from sitting down, I got up, my dress said, "Rrrt." I turned and looked at my fiance, he said, I said, don't tell me. He was like, your butt is all out.
Oh my
I
goodness.
said, you are kidding me. So my major D for the wedding came out, and I was like, I got to hurry and get downstairs. He was like, I said, my dress is ripped. So he was like, call a dressmaker. Hurry up and call a dressmaker. Her dress got to get fixed. I'm like, this is the worst day. If anything else can go wrong, it's going wrong right now. And this is the worst day of my life.
Were you crying or you? That's
Yeah,
not
I
you?
started crying because this is not what I intended. This is not what I planned. This is not what Miss Denise was supposed to do. I'm standing in the restroom butt naked with my bra and panties on for her to fix my dress. And that's not fair to me.
Okay. Did she come back?
Yeah, she came back.
And then how did she fix that dress?
I had to take my dress off and she hand sewed it. I can show you the dress.
Does it make sense to have the dresses delivered the day of the wedding?
I'm wondering what else is going on wrong with this wedding with all this screwed up.
Does it make sense?
Not at all. You have to be able to try on your dresses to make sure they fit.
Absolutely. Going inside the courtroom.
She has explained numerous problems. Can you please respond to all of the issues
Yes, I
that
am
she
going to
just said?
respond to all of the issues because when I put the dress on Miss Goldberg, her dress was not ripped. When they
Yeah, I know that wasn't her complaint that it was ripped and you put it on. What her complaint was is that it ripped that night. So why would a dress that you charge this kind of money for
I don't know what she
rip?
did while they were on that party dress for that dress to rip, but when I put that dress on Miss Mia at the church before they got
But
to
you
the
would
church,
agree that a
when she
well-sewn dress
left-
shouldn't rip, right?
Exactly. I've never
Show
had
me
that
the
problem
problems.
before, and I just
So
I
it was
didn't
the
just
first
start
time. Maybe
sewing.
this one was a little rushed.
Yes. No, it
Yeah.
wasn't rushed.
So maybe
No,
it wasn't perfect
wasn't.
if you're pressing
Your
during the
Honor,
wedding time.
Can I say this? I was working on this girl's dresses for months.
Yeah, it's a wonder you didn't get them ready in time. All right, which dress is this one?
Because I had to keep going back and forth to their house.
This is the reception dress. And like I said, she had good intentions. This was a good idea. She put the hood on, but look how she did the hood. Look at the hood. Look at the hood. It's how it was attached.
Why is it with
safety pins?
Safety pins.
Because she was supposed to take it off. She wasn't.
Yes, I
gonna
know,
keep
but that's
it
why
on.
you put. There's other things besides safety pins that'll let you take
But
it
look
off.
at the back of the dress where it ripped at. Look. You can look. This is my daughter's dress.
This was the dress where your booty was out?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is my daughter's dress. Look. The whole thing bust wide open.
Oh, the actual zipper.
Yeah.
Yes, the actual zipper bust when I zipped it up.
But Your
Somebody
Honor,
else was zipping
this
it up
dress
before
right
me.
here, This is
Then
right
get there on time so you can do
I
everything.
should have.
This right here
I'm not going to say
This
that I
is supposed
wasn't
to
late.
be the wedding dress.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm gonna tell you everything that went wrong with this wedding dress.
But wait, you haven't even used your wedding dress yet.
Nope. And let me tell you, look, the beads, all the beads is coming off. I never even wore it. Look at the beads. These beads are 3 different beads. 1, 2, 3 different beads.
Jonna, she's not telling the truth.
I need you to not talk.
Okay, that's fine.
I'm just saying, Your Honor,
No,
if there
I
was
don't need
a
you
wedding
to cry. I don't
reception,
need you to say anything else. I'm ready to rule. I just want to say one thing. I hope you have fun at the reception.
I did.
I hope he's a great man.
Wonderful.
I hope he's worth waiting for.
Sure is.
And I hope the judge grants the divorce in this century soon.
Yes.
Okay. I think that when you guys meet each other and you hire her, everyone, including Ms. Washington, has nothing but the best intentions to create a
Exactly.
beautiful, wonderful, happy day. It is not how it worked out. The main culprit for why it is not how it worked out is the fact that you could not provide all these products in a timely manner. In all of the wedding cases I've ever presided over, and trust me, you are not my first rodeo, I have never seen it be this last minute is not even the right term. I have never seen it be an admitted 45 minutes and you say an hour and something after. I've never heard of such a thing, that a seamstress would show up an hour and something later after a wedding's supposed to begin. I'm appalled by it. So no, I'm not gonna order her to pay back to pay the remaining $750 balance. I'm not. And frankly, I kind of think she's entitled to something else on top of it on her counterclaim, but not $3,500. I'm allowing you to keep the $750 and I'm ordering her, you don't have to pay them to her, and I find that you don't because of all the damages that you suffer. Plus, I'm going to order her to pay you another $250 so that what you get is $1,000 for all of the heartache that you had to endure during the wedding. Understand that the heartache your husband caused or the judge or his ex-wife caused has nothing to do with this case. That's all your heartache, okay? But the dress heartache does. So I am on the plaintiff's claim against you. I am ruling in your favor, and on your claim against the plaintiff, I'm going to order her to pay you an additional $250. All right, good luck, folks.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Well, it's the defendant who prevails in this case, the plaintiff, Ms. Washington. You know, I just got to ask you, what do you think about what the judge said? She really laid the whole thing on you.
That's
it was your
fine.
fault because the dresses
No,
were
it
late.
wasn't my fault, and
You
I'm
were
still
late.
not going to claim that. Even though I was late, I'm not going to claim that because as soon as I walked in the door, you know what she told me? Oh, I'm not going to wear the dress because we're not going to get married. My husband is not divorced.
Well, sorry about that. They did have the party.
That's
you
not
lost.
my fault.
It
That's
didn't.
okay.
No,
That's
you know,
fine.
Okay.
Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But I know in my heart, I won because I did a good job for that woman, and she did not tell the truth.
Certainly doesn't look like it. Doesn't
didn't
look
tell
like
the
it.
truth.
Well, let's see. I must say, the evidence does not indicate you did a good job. Here comes Miss Goldsboro. Well, I don't think you'll be using her again.
Never.
We didn't hear how the party was. Was it a good party?
It was wonderful. I had 2 entertainers, Will Tracks, nice and smooth. We had a wonderful time at my reception.
In spite of all the problems,
In
it was
spite
still
of
a
all
good
the
party.
problem, it was wonderful.
I've never heard of a wedding reception party going on with no wedding performed. You know, that's kind of rare,
exactly.
isn't it?
But we paid for it. We
Yeah.
came out of our pockets, so I had no choice but to have that reception.
Well, look, I hope you get married soon, like the judge said, and it works out fine, okay?
Yes.
Thank you. You did prevail.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
congratulations.
Thank
okay.
you.
You're very welcome. All right. Thank you. Wow, Harvey.
Okay, 2 things. 1, don't have them delivered the day of the wedding. 2, write the words "time is of the essence" in the contract.